Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, a show that examines all aspects of sexuality, from physical to emotional to spiritual. Join our hosts as they discuss age-old questions, common misconceptions, and the latest topics surrounding sex. They'll tackle topics about sexuality from the complicated to the hilarious and everything in between. GSMC Sex Podcast is your show for all of your questions about sex, even some you might not have thought of yet.
Welcome to the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, with your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Now, we are going to talk about some kinky sex challenges that you can do with your partner, because, sex should not be mediocre. It should always be fun, something new, trying different things with that person that you just can't get enough of. So why not spice up that bedroom and try out some, new sexual challenges? You can go as kinky as you'd like to be. So we're just going to talk about some today, some that you can possibly try. Now, top one. Would we play in hot and cold? Now, the way you do this is your partner gets an ice cube, puts it in their mouth, and starts kissing you. Now, while you're kissing, you're going to swap that ice cube over to your partner. When it gets a little too cold for you to hold, I'll pass it along, and keep passing it back and forth to you. And then, as it's melting, you are getting turned on by the fact that this ice, it's going back down to hot, but you're getting the hot and the cold sensation, and it's getting, you're kissing. You can't stop until the ice cube is melted. And once that ice cube is melted, go ahead. You should be so totally turned on that you are just ready to jump each other's bones. Another sex challenge that you can try is play one kinky game per night. Now, the easiest way to do this is to get a jar, write some kinky challenges on there that you would like to do. And with both of you putting a bunch in there, you should get such the variety, to tell each other what they are. And each day you go and you pick one up. And you may just get your partners, and the challenge is to fulfill it. You may get one that you thought of, which is a lot easier because it's something that you like. But the whole object of the challenge is to get that different kinky act or game, kinky game, to play, which will be different every night. So that's a real mind boggler. Another way is you get each other turned on without using your hands. Now you gotta be creative with this one because you can't use your hands to touchy-feely. So you're basically not going at it blind, but with no support from your hands. So you got to find out new ways to turn on your partner with everything else on your body but your hands. You could kiss all you want, but don't use any hands. This is the whole object. Hey, it's going to teach you different ways to learn your partner's body as well. Another thing is most people like having that sexual act in a darkened room under the blankets. Well, turn that around. Do it with the lights on and with no blankets. And, no blankets on top. That's it. And this way, by doing this, you get to see things that you would have been able to see in the dark of how your partner reacts. I mean, yes, you may know how they react because maybe they're moaning or they're saying that it's good, but this actually, now everything's out in the open and it makes you a bit vulnerable. So, I mean, aside from those individuals that are A-okay, there's a lot of people out there that vulnerability is scary. So, but this is also a way, if you love your partner and this is the partner you're going to be with for the rest of your life, a way of accepting them even more for who they are and what they do. Because you may not have realized it in the dark that they make a funny face when they're like doing stuff. Other times it's, you're uncomfortable. You don't want them to see a particular mark on your body or something, but that's the way of looking at it. Next one is wake each other up with oral sex. Now, we always equate this to a guy waking up with an erection. All well and true, but women do wake up wet too. So just go on down. Don't even waste your time touchy-feely. Go right down to the goods and just go to town, and it'll be more of a sexual arousal. Even, I mean, you're going to get to the point where you're going to bust, and you're going to like, oh my God, it'll blow your mind. Here's another one that's probably really hard to do. This challenge you to not try the same position again for a week. So say you do the horizontal mambo on Monday. You cannot use that again during the week. The following week you can, but you got to get through the week without using that particular position. So you got to do a lot of other positions. And if you're a little down on positions, look them up online, different positions that are available, or go to the library and get books on them. They are there. Or make some up yourself. And that's the good thing about it. And you figure this out with you and your partner. Another thing would be read some erotica out loud together. The words alone that you're listening to, total turn on. Because at that point, when you're getting totally turned on, you're imagining, by just listening to the words, how that is being done to you. And it's a total turn on. When you're done you probably couldn't even get through the whole book. Even if it was a small book. And usually erotica, you can find a small enough book to read a small story. Or a few different stories all mixed in, like, within the book. So, reading that together, total turn on for yourselves. Obviously, watching porn together, that is always a fun thing between couples. Watching that adult movie, you're sitting there watching two other people do it. You're getting totally turned on. And maybe you want to try some of the positions that you are watching. Really, really fun to do, so try it. Another one on our list would be to have a little handsy time under the table. Now, you go out to dinner with your partner, or you meet up with friends. There's a bunch of strangers in there. And even it's harder if you have friends at the table and you got your hand up her skirt or between her legs, or she has her hand between yours. Now, for females, we can get away with it. We can get right up and go. For the male counterpart, well, a little bit harder. they're not going to want to just get right up there because they want to just take care of it right then and there. Or they do want to go, but getting up will be the telltale sign of what has been going on under the table. Always fun because you can't let anybody really see your what how you're feeling or what is going in and how aroused you're getting, because they're going to know what's going on and probably either laugh at it or be grossed by it. So that is very challenging within itself. And it isn't just footsie we're playing here. That we can get away with. Literally playing with your partner's genitals. So that's a way to do that. The last sex challenge that we're going to talk about before we take a break is blindfolding each other. Generally, one partner is blindfolded at a time or just all together. In this challenge, the both of you are blindfolded, and you have to rely on all your other senses and turn each other on. And it will get quite interesting. You're going to fumble on a play. But the whole idea is to learn about your partner, particular sense, smells, sense, the feel and the touch. But you're not going to see. You're not going to know what you're touching. Although, I do have to say, if you do not know you're touching your partner's genitals, there is an issue. But you should be able to learn from your other senses all about your partner, which even intensifies the intimacy between the two of you. So we're going to take a break here. So get that snack, get that drink, come back, get relaxed, and when I return, we'll go back to talking about sex and our sex challenges in the room.
You really can't underestimate the importance of having the right creative work for your brand or your product. Whether it's a logo, a website, a book cover, or an ad campaign, you really need a quality design to make that big difference pop and deliver your overall engagement and success in a competitive market. That's where Design Crowd comes in. Design Crowd has over 750,000 designers from Sydney to San Francisco, ready to help you with awesome creative ideas. They make crowdsourcing work for you. So if you need a logo or you're working on your creative branding, you can go to designcrowd.com and post a brief describing the design you need. And then within about 2 to 7 days, you'll receive up to over 100 different designs from designers around the world. Then you pick the best design and approve payment to the designer. So you're only paying for the design that you want. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of freelancing and out of crowdsourcing. And you don't have to be a huge company like Harvard Business School to use Design Crowd, although they have used it as well. You can start a project on Design Crowd for as little as $99. And if you go right now to designcrowd.com/health and wellness or enter the promo code health and wellness on their website, then our health and wellness listeners will receive up to $150 off of your design project. That's designcrowd.com/health and wellness or entering that promo code health and wellness.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Welcome to the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network with your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Now, welcome back, my horny little devils. And let's talk about some more sex challenges. Good sex challenge, play a movie character. Playing it out will not at all corrupt any of the fantasies that you have. If you wanted to be Jasmine from, I don't know, Aladdin, then play it. And you can play that favorite character in the bedroom. Remember, it's not you, so play it to the T. And then your partner will probably join in with you and play a partner he wants to play or she wants to play. This is probably one of the hardest challenges, is to have sex without talking, because we want to hear our partners say things, or we want to say things ourselves during sex, but you don't want to, not in this challenge, there's no talking, but you do want to listen to his or her breath, how they're breathing at every move, and how they're getting turned on, the differences in the pitch, the flow, while they're watching your body with the breathing and the pitches and the moaning. And I don't even think moaning is considered talking. Tongue talk. So go ahead and moan it out, but you are watching each other's and listening to each other's breath and how that gets higher as the more that each of you get turned on. But definitely no talking. Another sex challenge, which this particular one is probably not that hard for everybody. It might get to the point where if someone comes over, you might have a little issues, but stay naked all day long together. Just spend the day together naked. If you got the day off from work or it's the weekend, just make sure you don't expect anybody over or anything like that, but just be Adam and Eve, no clothes, all day long. You can cuddle up with each other, don't have sex. You can play around with each other, do not have sex. Once the day gets through and we'll get into night, then have sex. But you've gotten through the whole day naked, going about your business, playing with your partner from time to time, but you're naked, spending the day together. And then you could get rid of all of those sexual feelings at night. So, it is very difficult, I'm assured, because most of you would probably just want to go and jump your partners. But the whole idea is not to, until it gets nighttime, is to spend the day together naked. You can sit and cuddle. You could just sit and watch TV together. Put your head on your partner's lap. It'll be very difficult, but it is a challenge. It is hard, but you are learning from each other. So that is a very difficult challenge. Next challenge. Now, I had you take away your hands and find intuitive ways to sex your partner up with foreplay. Now, I'm going to take away your kissing. There will be no kissing of your partner at all, either on the lips or on the body. You must find other ways to do this so that your partner does get off, but you could use your hands I know you're going to sit there. It's going to kill you to not be able to kiss your partner. But this is the whole idea. You're taking away one of the things that you use. You're eliminating it from the equation and learning new ways to explore your partner's body and turn them on without kissing. No lippage. This is one of the big ones. And it's probably very hard to do. Now, I said no talking the last time. And just concentrating on your partner's breathing or on each other's breathing and listening to the peaks that go with it. But taking that one step further with no moaning, no whispering, no nothing. Complete and total silence. And you're going to get caught up with listening to what's going on in other rooms. That's not the purpose of this. The whole idea is for you and your partner to listen to each other's body language and breathing or other things that have to do with that. But there's no moaning in it. I'm going one step further. No moaning, no whispering, no nothing. No words. I'm very adamant about that because that's probably one of the hardest challenges that you would have. Now, once I've taken away your ability to let go of some serious feelings and sounds, we are going to try. I know I took away your kissing and then I took away your hands. This next one is you actually do get to kiss. But the challenge is, shall I say, how long can you go without it before you definitely need to just attack your partner and kiss them. Try it for at least half an hour, no kissing, but you're doing foreplay. And you're going to get each other's clothes off. You are going to, your partner's going to want it, if you're a female, lick your nipples. Play around with them because they know that's the part of you that is a total turn on. Nope. No lippage. See how long you can go without it. And give yourself time frames. Start out by no kissing for a half an hour. And then go into town after that half an hour. So there are ways to do it. With the kissing, you can actually put in intervals for it. Now, another one is, going onto adult websites, which we all know. And what you do is, when you're going onto these adult websites, you randomly click on something to buy for the bedroom. Okay? And use it when it comes to the house immediately. Because there's no stopping or anything. Just take it. It's in. Oh my God, honey. It's in. Let's go and try it out. Just rip it out of the bag. Wash it down. There you go. Playing with random porno, which, an earlier one was watching porno together. This one kind of mixes up the porno. And you're just going to pick random ones. Go through them and try the positions right then and there. But randomly pick them. You or your partner can pick these. So it would be fun that way. Your partner picks one, then you pick one, but act out the sex positions. Now, this one is pretty interesting. As you can hear, it's making me giggle. Have sex while wearing as many pieces of clothing that you can. Now, our whole goal is to get the clothes off. This challenge requires the clothes, and you have to have sex with the clothes on. But you gotta find ways to have that sex with the clothes on, with as much as possible. You can't take any off. I know that one good thing about this is go out and buy your partner crotchless panties. Helps you with just the clothes. You can keep all your clothes on and boom, go to town. Make sure you're wearing a skirt, so it makes it easier. I'm sure someone's come up with crotchless pants. I haven't seen them, but I'm sure someone's come up with them. We are going to take a break here again. So go replenish that drink and that snack. Come back, get relaxed. And I'll be back to talk about more sex on our topic of sex challenges.
You really can't underestimate the importance of having the right creative work for your brand or your product. Whether it's a logo, a website, a book cover, or an ad campaign, you really need a quality design to make that big difference pop and deliver your overall engagement and success in a competitive market. That's where Design Crowd comes in. Design Crowd has over 750,000 designers from Sydney to San Francisco ready to help you with awesome creative ideas. They make crowdsourcing work for you. So if you need a logo or you're working on your creative branding, you can go to designcrowd.com and post a brief describing the design you need. And then within about 2 to 7 days, you'll receive up to over 100 different designs from designers around the world. Then you pick the best design and approve payment to the designer. So you're only paying for the design that you want. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of freelancing and out of crowdsourcing. And you don't have to be a huge company like Harvard Business School to use Design Crowd, although they have used it as well. You can start a project on Design Crowd for as little as $99. And if you go right now to designcrowd.com/health and wellness or enter the promo code health and wellness on their website, then our health and wellness listeners will receive up to $150 off of your design project. That's designcrowd.com/health and wellness or entering that promo code health and wellness.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome to the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, with your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from a point of view of an older woman. Now let's finish out our show with our final sex challenges, where the challenge is to have as many, or to see how many times you can have sex in a day not utilizing the same position. Ooh, gotta be creative. Gonna have to play a little Mr. Postman in there. But try it. It's a difficult thing to do, I'm assured. Having to think up new positions all the time. And you get exhausted, or you have exhausted the ones you're already now. And the thing with that is you are really getting turned down by one position, and switch it up. And get excited on that next one. But it's finding ways to turn you and your partner on, and vice versa. So it is quite a challenge to do, but I'm assured that you could do that. Obviously, in our challenges is role play, and you got to search through your closet and pick out an outfit that your alter ego would wear. So it gets particular, and then you have to pretend to be that person during sex. So there's a little bit more to it. Yeah, you're putting on the outfit, but now you gotta have your alter ego come into play, and you gotta act that out. So that gets where it gets a little tricky and kinky. Another one is, if you know a language, or if you are, semi-fluent in another language, try talking dirty in it. And just like, I know we all call it Spanglish, half Spanish, half English. And I love it because I had a friend, really funny woman, who actually would talk to her children when she was upset in Spanglish, and I would get a total kick out of it. But it was funny the way she did it. So if you know, or even learn words, and say them during sex, the dirty words, of course, we have a tendency to be able to manage to learn those better than we can manage any other type of part of that language that's there. So learn some words and speak them to your partner. Whisper them or talk dirty right off the bat. Sometimes you don't even care what they're saying. It's just the way they're saying it in another language. There's the difference. So another sex challenge is to create a sex position of your own. Think of what or how it can be done without hurting each other, and act it out. Try it out. You're going to have to work out the kinks in it, but do try it. Even ones that you've never seen in a movie before. This is totally your creation, your baby. Work with it. Do what you want. You might find a position that the two of you just absolutely love, that you've created yourself. Give it a name, because now you own it. So, another sex challenge. Masturbate side by side. You are looking at each other while you masturbate, which is a total turn on for partners. And just seeing them enjoying themselves in front of you and being comfortable enough to let you see it and experience it, which is a total turn on for you, whereas you just want to jump their bones. So that's a way of doing that one. But masturbating side by side, most partners actually would like to have asked their partner to masturbate in front of them anyway. Well, now the both of you, the challenge is to do it side by side, watching each other, and try to come at the same time. So adding that added bonus in there. There is a tough challenge to uphold. Now, I know I said earlier, go to the library or go online or go in a bookstore and just buy a book of sex positions, straight sex positions. I know there's more out there than just the Kama Sutra. Now, when you get this book, go one step further. Just randomly open up the book to a page, and on that page, do that position. And work at it, because it may be one you've never seen before. But it is a guess. It's a crapshoot as to what you're going to get. And that's the fun in getting the book and just opening it up to one particular page. And that's what you're going to do as a position. So there is the challenge, my dears. Again, lights on. Sit with, seeing every inch of your partner's body sometimes is uncomfortable, but learning it is fun. But there might be one part of your partner's body that you've seen for the first time and you actually want to explore it. And who knows, that might be one of those spots that totally turns them on. So here's a challenge that can work. If you don't have sex toys, please go out and buy a bunch of them, because this one requires sex toys. Get out every sex toy that you have. And then try to use every single one of them in one night. Ooh, if you have an entourage of sex toys, that is going to be a very long night. You may have to cut that in half and do it again on another night. So that is a challenge in that, and it's always fun because you want to see what that sex toy does for your partner and how it turns them on to begin with. Now, if you want to laugh more than your orgasm, put on the unsexiest song that you can find and try and turn each other on. You will laugh your keisters off, but it would be fun. You're laughing together, you're bonding, but you may even realize that you are getting turned on. But it's kind of hard listening to the song, so you're going to try hard to turn each other on to that song, because it isn't doing anything. It could be a song that you very much cannot stand or don't like to listen to, which technically in this case should be. And then try and get turned on to it, because we associate music with being a turn on and an aphrodisiac for us. So that is a very, very difficult to do. Another sex challenge, which probably I don't even find this as a challenge. Well, it all depends on how you look at it. Try to have sex in every room of the house. And for the most part, people have already tried this or have established this. Try it a little harder. Put more of the challenge in to do a different position in every room in the house in one night. So you got to kind of sort of think ahead and add more to that challenge that's going to really challenge you and your partner. Now, the challenges are unlimited. They're really your imagination, how kinky you want to get, and what overall, how far you want to go with your orgasm. I mean, you try having sex while standing up. No leaning on counters or against bed sheets. So basically, you are just standing in the middle of a room, trying to have sex without leaning on anything. These challenges are quite intuitive and, for lack of another word, not to pun it, but very, very challenging. one partner might have to use the upper strength while the other partner is finishing out. There are so many challenges that you can build off of. Sexual challenges should always be fun, and there is a level of kinkiness in it. There is a level of how rough you want to be to how gentle you want to be. So always, as I always state, have a safe word. And always, if your partner says they are uncomfortable, please stop and try something different. But do practice safe sex. If not for your partner, for yourself. And I thank you for tuning in. But join me again in my next session for some sex talk with Andra.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast.